Hello students, I am Dr. Saleha Jamal, Faculty Department of Geography, Aligarh Muslim University, Aligarh. Welcome to today's class. So here I am with the course Climate Change Vulnerability and Adaptation. And as we have started this week about the adaptation resilience related to the climate change, so today's topic of discussion is strategies for sustainable resource management. Let us start the class. What is sustainable resource management? When we have talked about the sustainability, if you remember students, I have explained that is continuing something for the long time, means it will sustain for the long time. So sustainable resource management is actually a very important practice in nowadays world, particularly in this era of climate change where resource depletion is taking place. The replenishment rate is low as compared to the consumption rate. That's why depletion of resources is being observed. So that's why it is now very critical practice to have resource management for the resources, especially for the non-renewable resources. It ensures, the sustainable management ensures that the natural resources is to be used responsibly in order to meet current needs without compromising the future generations. What we are enjoying today, that is to be enjoyed by our future generations. That's why we have to be responsible while its consumption, so that the future generation may not compromise with the resources what we are using today. So actually the resource management concept integrate various strategies and principles to maintain a balance between the consumption and conservation. We have studied about the certain initiatives, if you remember, regarding the to achieve the sustainable development goals, and here we are studying about the strategies of resource management. So what actually the difference between the strategies and initiatives? Actually strategies are the direction, while initiatives are the actionable process operation. So strategies directs and initiatives gives operationable actionable steps to achieve the goals. So both are very important for attaining certain aim and goal, and very much here we are concerned with the sustainable development goals, due to which we can protect our environment, protect our planet Earth. Actually, students, do you know that how depletion of the resources occurs? It actually occurs when the resources are used at a very faster rate than they can be replenished. That leads to the material shortages, high cost in the markets, and it also harms the environment. Because when we have studied about the concept of the development, I have said the decades and decades before, the concept of the development was just for the economic development, and thus being in the race of the economic development, we have used our resources recklessly without considering the repercussions to our environment. So this reckless use of resources even harms our environment. That's why it's become very much necessary to address resource depletion, which is a key, very important key to resource management. For that, we need sustainable practices which aims to slow, or even we can say reverse, this reckless use of resources, irrational use of resources, by promoting renewable resources and boosting the efficiency of the resources. This sustainable resource management involves strategic use of the natural resources where we use its efficiency or some alternate sort of energies in order to prevent the depletion and maintain their availability even for the future generation. This practice is very much important for balancing the needs of the current population and for the future generations, while addressing the environmental, economic and social challenges posed by the resource depletion, because resource depletion is posing environmental challenge in terms of environment degradation, maybe the deterioration of air quality, soil quality, water pollution, emission of greenhouse gases, etc. It also poses challenges to the economic sector, as various economic sectors are very much dependent upon the different types of natural resources. So, if its availability decreases, that may impact production also. The production may be low down, the cost of production may be increased due to the increase in the raw material. Even it poses social challenges because of the high cost or even the shortage of the resources in the market will affect the population in different way. That's why sustainable resource management in present era is very much important. This sustainable resource management is increasingly recognized all over the globe for its importance in various sectors. If we discuss few of the major sectors where this resource management is playing very crucial role in the maintenance of the environment, even also by facing the social and economic challenges. If we talk about the agriculture sector, we know that the conventional methods of agriculture, particularly what we are practicing in high yield variety seeds, lots of fertilizers are being utilized, pesticides, weedicides, insecticides, even a lot of irrigation is being done, of which lots of repercussions have been seen in terms of the increase in the health issues, even for the livestock and the human beings, water pollution, and often the soil fertility have been observed to be degraded. So that's why the sustainable agricultural practices is now become very much necessary. For example, the farmers can adopt crop rotation technique, farming and conservation tillage. This will help in maintaining the soil health, because growing same type of crop in a field that will exhaust the soil with particular nutrient level. If the crop rotation is being utilized, crop diversification is being followed, then the soil will get time to replenish itself naturally with the time. Also, in sustainable practices, we have to look after the water usages in the irrigation sector, and we have to decrease dependency on chemical fertilizers and the pesticides. These practices will surely ensure long-term productivity, and it will protect our environmental health also. Talking about the another sector where the sustainable resource management plays very important role is the industrial sectors. Here, sustainable resource management includes optimizing energy use, reducing the waste, and implementing recycling programs. When we talk about optimizing energy use, means efficiency of the appliances, instruments is to be increased, shift from the non-renewable energy, that is particularly from the fossil fuels, to the renewable energy becomes very much important. Even the recycling programs is to be installed in order to reduce the wastage also and conserve and protect several resources. So, industries are generally adopting now the renewable energy sources like solar, wind power in order to decrease their dependence on the fossil fuels in order to minimize the greenhouse emission to the atmosphere. Another sector where the sustainable resource management is very much necessary is in the urban development. Urban areas are integrating these practices with various methods, some of which I would like to explain here by green building standards, green belt outside the buildings, green balcony, greening of the roofs, these are the some of the practices. Development of blue-green spaces, maybe the parks, maybe the, we can say, artificial wetlands, water bodies, and also efficient public transport system which has lesser greenhouse emission to the environment. These all efforts will surely help to reduce the urban heat island, because what we have analyzed now, the urban areas, the metropolitan cities, the medium-sized cities, which is the hub of the industrialization, and even we can say it is one of the most urbanized region on this surface. So actually these regions which I am talking about, the cities, they are generally having the temperature difference from 3 degree centigrade to 12 degree centigrade from the suburban to the rural areas. If we compare, it is means temperature are much higher with its surrounding areas, that is suburban and the rural areas. So that's why they are emerging as a urban heat island. So following these practices will lower the energy consumption and will improve the atmospheric conditions of the cities, which is very much necessary for the human beings. Now, as we are here concerned with the strategies adopted for the sustainable resource management, there are some effective strategies which need to be discussed here. Among them, the first one is measuring and tracking resource supply level. Why it is very much important? Because when we measure the supply levels, when we track the consumption level, when we track the availability of resources, what is the rate of the availability of the resources, what is the rate of consumption of resources, what is the rate of replenishment of those resources, then we can devise certain plans and policies in order to conserve and protect the natural resources. That's why monitoring resource availability will aid in making informed and smart decision about the usage and the conservation. If we take example, there is Colorado's water management program, like Colorado Water Plan, which offer a strategy, a certain steps for managing the state's water resources. Actually, this plan focuses on integration in the water development and conservation in order to ensure the sustainable use. It includes initiatives like track water supply, track water consumption rate, helping the cities to manage the consumption and even prepare for the future challenges. So such type of strategies can help in effective water resource management. This is just one of the example here, students. Another effective strategies we can have reducing consumption and improving efficiency. Using resources more efficiently, more rationally can effectively lower overall consumption and can conserve various natural resources. Here again we will take example of Denver's energy efficiency program, that is to promote energy saving practices in business and home. If these practices will be applied in the business at domestic level, the energy saving is being observed. For example, under this program, incentives for upgrading to energy efficient appliances is also given to the residents. Then improving in the building insulation, which will save energy, and implementing smart energy management system. These type of practices, which is encouraged by this Denver's energy efficiency program, will help to reduce energy consumption, and that will also increase the energy efficiency, as because if we are using the appliances which are more energy efficient, then we can save the energy, which will contribute to sustainable resource management. If we talk about recycling, recovering, reclaiming, this is one of the most important strategy direction towards sustainable resource management by recycling the metals, plastic, wastewater, different types of waste that even we see in our garbage, in our home garbage, even in industrial garbage, commercial garbage. So these all things when recycled, surely it will help to reduce the consumption of resources. There is a need for new raw materials will be reduced by recycling the waste, and thus we can conserve the natural resources. Actually, this method includes processes like closed loop cycling, means using the resources, then production, then consumption, then wastage, again recycling the wastage, then again reproduction, reusing, then consumption. Means this is creating a closed loop cycle. We are reusing, we are recycling the products which have been already used. We can recycle, I have given examples, certain metals, plastics, wastewater and various waste products, and can efficiently conserve and reduce the use of certain resources. That's why this is one of the very much important strategy towards the sustainable resource management. Switching to renewable resources, although it requires lots of financial assistance, but tackling with the problem in a long term, it plays a very important role. That is shifting from non-renewable energy to the renewable energy. Shifting from non-renewable resources to the renewable resources like solar energy, wind energy, tidal energy, hydropower. These are all, we can say, cornerstone for the sustainable management. For example, if we see the Colorado's renewable energy standard RES, which necessitates that a certain percentage of the state electricity should come from the renewable sources. If such type of policy and programs is implemented in each and every nation, we can conserve our resources to the larger extent. This renewable energy standard of Colorado has driven significant investment in the renewable sector by large-scale wind farms in eastern Colorado and even in also in the solar projects in the San Luis Valley. Actually, switching to renewable energy will reduce the dependence on the fossil fuels and it will lower the greenhouse gas emissions, which will help a lot in mitigating with the climate change. Fifth strategy here we are talking about is reducing environmental pollution and degradation, because environmental pollution and degradation is not only impacting the human beings but it is impacting each and every life form on this earth. It is deteriorating this different types of ecosystem to a large extent. So mitigating with pollution will help to preserve our natural ecosystem. For example, practices which may reduce the greenhouse gas emission, which may control the industrial waste, which may increase certain waste treatment plants, and which certain technologies which may contribute to the cleaner air, water, soil. These all things can help to mitigate pollution in order to preserve our natural ecosystem. Actually, effective pollution management strategies includes adopting cleaner production technologies and enforcing strict environmental regulations. Many times adopting cleaner production technologies requires a huge financial assistance, which is not very much possible for the developing and poor nations to adopt. For this, at global level, they should need help in order to transfer such technology, such knowledge in these nations, so that at larger extent, at global level, we can come together to reduce environmental pollution and degradation. Here we will discuss certain examples of sustainable resource management, mainly in the important sectors like water, energy, agriculture, etc. Starting with the water management, particularly in the cities, because we have seen the cities are facing the major water crisis. Sustainable cities like Los Angeles is now using advanced tracking systems in order to monitor the fresh water supplies. Even it also monitors the consumption rate, the replenishment rate, which helps a lot to ensure a sustainable water supply for urban population, particularly during the when the demand in particular seasons, in drought seasons, rises. Another example can be taken from the industries, that is in energy efficiency. Companies in the manufacturing sectors now they are adopting energy efficient technologies in order to overall reduce the energy consumption. These energy efficient technologies are a bit, we can say, they are a bit costly, but still in long run it will help to efficiently conserve the energy, particularly various natural resources. This include energy efficient machineries, optimizing production processes and employing waste heat recovery systems. These are certain practices which will help in energy efficiency. Recycling programs in the communities. Already, if you remember, just 2-3 slides before, we have talked about recycling, reusing the things. So, community recycling programs will increase the awareness among the community that the certain products, certain waste things like metals, plastics, rubber, these are the things that can be recycled and reused. For example, in San Francisco have successfully diverted a significant portion of waste from the landfills that in the recycling program. Actually, these type of programs mainly encourages the recycling of the household waste, including plastics, metals, and even many times the organic matter, which reduces the environmental impact. Another example we can take from the renewable energy adoption. States here I would like to give example California, even we can take the Norwegian countries. They lead in renewable energy adoption with extensive use of solar and wind power. Actually, these energy, whether we talk about solar, wind, tidal, we can say these provide a significant portion of state's electricity, which reduces the reliance on the fossil fuel, which in turn lowers the carbon emission in the atmosphere. That's why renewable energy adoption becomes very important and it is the need of the hour. Talking about the pollution control measures, as we know, the pollution is disrupting our ecosystem. It is destroying our natural habitat. So, industries, here we are taking the example how these control measures can help. So, industries along the Mississippi River have implemented the pollution control program. They have taken certain measures in order to reduce the discharge of harmful substances into the water. Actually, these measures are the treatment plants which treats water before it is discharged in the river. These measures include also the upgrading waste treatment facilities and adopting one of the best practices for waste management to protect water quality. By integrating all these methods and examples, the businesses, the communities, industries, they can significantly adopt and contribute to sustainable resource management practices, ensuring the longevity and health of the natural resources for the future generation. So, what why the waste management is playing a very important role in sustainability? Because we know that there are various natural resources which are being used at a very faster rate, and their rate of replenishment is very much low. So it is predicted that they will get over with time. So our future, it may not be left, certain resources may not be left for our future generations. That's why in order to maintain the sustainability of these resources, the waste management becomes very much important. This waste management plays a very important role in sustainable resource management by minimizing not only the usages of the natural resources, but also it minimizes the environmental impacts of the waste products. Though certainly it will help a lot to reduce the ill effects of the climate change what we are going through. Effective waste management strategies may include waste reduction at the source. Waste reduction at the source, it needs certain measures to minimize waste generation at the source during the production of the different products, and also even waste reduction at the consumption steps is also should also be given very much importance. So implementing measures to minimize waste generation during production and consumption processes becomes very important. Secondly, the effective waste management strategy may include recycling and composting programs also, because encouraging recycling, reusing of the materials, and even we can also proceed for organic waste composting to reduce the landfill use. That will ensure the waste management, the role of waste management in the sustainability. Not only this, resource recovery is also one of the very much important we can say strategy, where the technologies such as waste to energy conversion may help to reclaim valuable resources from waste streams. Environmental impact, which will reduce the environmental impact. Now here I would like to take, after discussing the critical role of resource management for the sustainability, here I would like to discuss one of the very advanced technology, that is the fusion's commitment to sustainable resource management. When we talk about the fusion's commitment, fusion is a potential energy source that could contribute to sustainable development in various ways. Maybe in it why it is very much important, and it has a role in the sustainable development and sustainable resource management, because fusion, as I have said, it is a potential energy. It is very much environmental friendly. It has the abundant fuel, and even it is very much safe, I can say. So here I would like to discuss this fusion commitment and its role in sustainable resource management. Actually, Fusion Field Services is dedicated to providing sustainable solutions through various innovations in the waste management and the excavation services. Their approach includes, here we have taken example of hydro excavation. Actually, hydro excavation uses pressurized water to safely excavate the exposed underground utilities, as it requires very less space geographically. It can be installed or it can be brought near the consumer itself, and also it does not inhibit the different operations which are going on in its surrounding. It reduces the environmental risk, as it is environmental friendly, and it also avoids the use of various other heavy machineries that can cause significant environmental deterioration. That's why nowadays we are very much talking about the fusion field services. As here we are talking about the fusion hydro excavation services, they are particularly very much beneficial for the projects which require utility location, removal of debris from the trenching. Their hydro trucks, these hydro excavation, their hydro trucks can operate in diverse condition, means it can operate in all weather condition, whether including the cold weather, weather having the high rate of precipitation, and it can also be positioned 400 feet up from the dig site. So it will minimize the congestion also. That's why it is said it is very much consumer friendly and environmental friendly. So this capability ensures the projects can proceed smoothly without causing significant disruption to the surroundings. This sustainable waste management practices through the fusion commitment mainly emphasizes over the waste segregation, recycling and disposable. All of three of them is very much important in order to have a sustainable resource management. Actually, the waste management services include transporting of, disposing of industrial waste in compliance with the government regulations, and all these criteria is being fulfilled by this fusion's commitment. Fusion handles various types of waste including the biosolid, food waste, construction, demolition waste, hazardous material, a lot. That's why it is very much in compliance with the environmental laws and policies. It adheres to the environmental laws and standards, and it also ensures that their activities are sustainable and which contribute positively to the environment. These fusions services are very much designed to meet all the regulatory requirements of the government, of the consumer and particularly of the site where it is to be used. Fusion is actually a forefront of sustainable resource management because it offers variety of solutions that not only address the current environmental challenges but it also pave the way for sustainable future. So by adopting, I would like here in conclusion to say that by adopting these type of practices, the businesses, the industries can benefit from cost saving, they can enhance their reputation and also in compliance with, as it is in compliance with the environmental standards, they can contribute a lot in saving this planet Earth. Just see here, a team of fusion expert is ready to meet your waste management needs. This is environment friendly, even it is cost effective. So lots of advantages have been discussed and many of the countries are adopting this fusion's commitment. So that's all for today's lecture, student. Have a nice day. Thank you.